guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lou. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8Life.com. Coach Lou will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lou.
All right. Good morning. Happy Memorial Day, guys. Before we start the show this morning, I just want to take a moment to definitely honor our service people, honor the freedoms that they have given to us for the sacrifices they have given over the years. Guys, I don't take freedom lightly. I don't take your freedom to watch my show. I don't take your freedom to eat what you want to eat. I don't take your freedom to decide on your religion. I don't take your freedom to decide on how to raise your children, what car to drive, where to live, and what job to do. And we can thank all our veterans for that. Anybody in our armed services that has defended our rights to do that forever and ever, keep them dear in your heart today, and send blessings to their families. If you know somebody who's serving or got somebody serving right now, especially if they're over in a war zone, send some love and compassion and do something for that family. So on that note, guys, what's up? It is Memorial Day. You know what else it is? It's our last day of H1, but it's not really our last day, okay? So it's not the last day. It's the beginning of your next level of the journey. And you might be going, Coach, didn't you have that eye surgery? What are you wearing glasses for? Okay, these are not prescription glasses. These are to help. And this is, going back, and I'm going through the sleep segments and that, teaching that, and I'm like, the blue light really does make a difference. So these have a slight yellowish tint to them, and they really take away from that drawn out feeling. So if you're on a computer a lot, which I would guess you are in the age that we live in, or if you're on your phone a lot, even if you don't need glasses, get yourself a pair of something like this, just a good set of computer glasses to take off that eye strain. It makes a difference. Okay. So I got a question for you this morning as we're rounding the bend here. What if you, yes, you, could really have the body, the energy, and the passion for living that you see other people have? And you might go, Coach, I don't see a lot of other people with passion for living right now. And a lot of people are slumped over and they have the COVID 20 or the COVID 30 pounds that they've gained and all that stuff. Yep, you are right. What about those people you look at and go, must be nice, they must have really good genetics? Well, I don't know. There's some people look at me and say, oh, you must have really good genetics. I have really came from a very large, heavy family that didn't eat well, didn't do the right things and all that. So when you think about it, the truth is, here we are. We're at that cross point where you can make the choice. Okay? What if you could learn to do this on autopilot? Okay? You know where that comes from? You know where the autopilot comes from? The H word. And you're like, H1, health first? Well, that's a part of it because you prioritize it, but it's habits. Creating the proper habits to the point where it becomes on autopilot. Okay, you just live that way. People come to me all the time and say, Coach, can I have your diet? Just give me your diet. And I'm like, well, I don't really diet anymore. There was a point where I was designing it and I tried every diet out there. And the point when I started this journey, I did. I tried the Atkins. I tried the totally raw. I tried the pescatarian. I tried the vegetarian. And so on and so forth. And if you've been following this series, and if you haven't, get back on and go to our blog at XLR8Life.com, XLR8Life.com, and go on our free blog there. It's free. You got to sign up for it just because we want to prevent spam and protect you and so forth, protect your information. But it's free to go back and watch all these shows. Okay, so that is the thing it is. You just become that kind of person. What if you just become that kind of person that develops the habits? When you put something in your mouth that's nourishing to you and tastes good, okay, it's got to be, you got to fill that triad as such. So what would be the triad of a good food? Well, the base is that it's going to support your body. This side is it tastes good, and this side is it's fulfilling emotionally to eat it because you go, you know what? I enjoyed that, and it was good for me. See, everything comes in triads, and we've talked about that. You've got your, the basic triad is your physical, your emotional, mental, which is your focus, and then you have your, you've got to make sure that you balance that out with your actual actions. Okay, so that all fits in together. All right, so we're going to review real quick what we've done over the past few weeks. We started out on eating. Okay, what were the basic takeaways of eating? And again, I'm not going to put you on a diet, but the basic takeaways was no processed foods. Get rid of them. If it sits on your counter for 2 weeks and doesn't spoil, it is shit. Get rid of it. See, I'm a poet too. No, seriously. I call it like it is. I want you guys to get these points. And if I got to use a little bit of edgy language once in a while, if I got to wake you up and smack something, if I got to tell you to stand up and stop slouching, if I got to tell you to stop making excuses, we're going to do it. Okay? You want to have water-rich foods. You want to have 80 to 90% raw. So you really want to be towards veggies on that. Now, I mean, sushi falls into raw too. So if you're pescatarian or you like fish, you can get a little bit more of it on the raw side too is better for you because it's not all cooked to death. What does cooking do? It dries out the food, number one. It cooks the water content out of it. Number two, it kills the enzymes that help it digest a lot of times. And in certain cases, that's not true. There's always a few exceptions where you've got to cook stuff. And number three, it destroys a lot of the nutrients in the food. Now, I'm not going to tell you go out and eat a raw piece of bacon. That would be silliness. I'm not going to tell you to eat raw eggs. At some point in our history of the world, you could have eaten raw eggs and been fine. Right now, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't really eat raw meat or anything. Choose your raw fish if you do it carefully and make sure it is, wild caught, like Alaskan salmon or something like that. Not this farm raised stuff that they feed corn to, and you're eating corn basically. So that was the other thing that came out of it. Watch your high lectin vegetables like corn. Stay away from soybeans. They create too much estrogen in the body. Stay away from nightshades because they're toxic. Your tomatoes, your eggplants, they have these plant toxins that rip your guts up. So there's a lot of alternatives out there, but keep in mind, just because it's a vegetable or just because it's not an animal product does not make it good for you. That's where me and my vegan friends bump heads. Well, I can eat this because it's on my diet. Well, no, that's a cupcake loaded with sugar. Just because you didn't use any eggs in the processing of it doesn't make it good for you. Now, I'm respective. If you don't want to eat meat because you believe in animal rights and that, I stand by you on that one. So there's some of it's almost an atrocity, the way that they actually, process and the way they kill these animals. I mean, there's a humane way to do it and there's a non-humane way to do it. And a lot of the big companies, they're not real humane on the way they treat these things. They're a living creature too. Now, do I eat meat sometimes? Yes. I'll tell you that. I'm not afraid to call it like it is. But I would not intentionally buy from a company that abuses the animals. I mean, that's not right either in the name of profit. So, and by the way, as you know from my business coaching, I mean, we're not allergic to profit, folks. So number two, fitness. WTF, what the fitness? Which is best for you? Well, number one that you're going to do, and it's going to get your heart rate elevated and get your body moving, is the right kind of fitness for you. You can say, I want to do CrossFit, rah, and you're not capable of it, and you go in and hurt yourself, and you're done for, and you're like, see, it doesn't work, it broke me. No, that's not what fitness is about. It might be walking to your mailbox and back, one time instead of taking the golf cart right now because you're that out of shape, and then, next week you do it twice, you do it 3 times. That might be your fitness for right now. I don't know where you're at, but wherever you're at, you got to take it to the next level. And when you get to that next level, you got to continue to take it to the next level. The best fitness routines include, obviously you want to work on the cardio side to keep the heart and the lungs strong, but you also need to keep your bones and your muscles strong. So you need some light impact, you need some strength training. Keep moving, get moving, create it as a lifestyle. Hydration, that was huge. Most of us are dehydrated. By the time you're thirsty, you're done. You're already dehydrated. But make sure you're hydrating with a good alkaline, unless you have kidney disease, and talk to your doctor. Good alkaline, fresh, processed, clean water that comes from a clean source, and BPA-free bottles and stuff like that. You don't want to do tap water. Tap water is loaded with fluoride. It's loaded with pathogens. It's loaded with all kinds of chemicals. It's treated with chemicals. And let's face it, it's recycled pee-pee and poopy water. So that's what it is. Breathing. You're doing it anyway. Okay? Don't do it up here. Deep diaphragmatic breaths. And you can't see on the studio monitors here, so if I can't see it, you can't see it. Way down in that belly. Make that belly pop out when you inhale. Too many people try to do it the other way. They try to inhale and squeeze their belly in and then exhale by relaxing. No, you're supposed to inhale, let it fill. Exhale is pushing out. You'd be surprised how many people do that in the reverse, okay, which is really crazy to me. Then we can talk about rest and sleep, okay? Two different things, but two very similar things. Sometimes to be at rest is almost as valuable to your body as sleeping. Now, sleeping, we figured out one of the big portions of that is that you have to wake up at the end of the sleep cycle. Coming out of the REM sleep is your lightest part of the sleep. You don't want to wake up, in your beginning part, because then obviously you haven't really slept. So that's about a 90 to 110 minute cycle. It depends on the person. I'm right about a 90-minute person. So if I wake up at 5 in the morning and I gotta be up at 6, if it's one of those mornings that's 6 is my wake up time that I really need to be up, I get up, okay? Because I don't want to be in the middle of a deep sleep. If you wake up at 5:45 and you got to be up at 6, you better really get up, because you will absolutely go back into that sleep cycle, and that needs about an hour and a half to complete. The other side of sleep was having a pretty static bedtime and wake time. Yes, even on the weekends. See, that's the thing, the old stupid school belief of, all week long I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and I go to bed at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night, and on the weekend I'm going to sleep in, and I'm going to party on Friday night, and da-da-da-da, and then you wonder why Monday morning your body's going, I don't want to get up, and Sunday night you can't go to sleep. You screw it all up. Stay on the same sleep cycle. And you know what the best sleep in the world is? Guess what? You go to bed when you're tired, and you wake up when you wake up. And that is pretty much the deal. Too many people push past that, that second wind moment. They can't keep their eyes open at 9:30, and at 10:30, then next thing you know, they're up till 1 o'clock in the morning because they're wide awake. Okay. So the other thing with sleep is stay away from the electronics at night. And I know this sounds redundant and you hear it everywhere. If you haven't heard that it's no good to look at your phone and your computer right up to bedtime, nor watch TV, if you haven't heard that, your head's been in the sand, or you're just really not researching it, or you don't want to hear it because everybody talks about it. That's no secret. That's nothing Coach Lou created, even down to the glasses. That's why I decided to wear those this morning. Plus, a lot of times when I'm doing the show, I get done with the show and I'm like, my eyes are throbbing a little bit. And I'm like, it's early in the morning. My eyes shouldn't feel tired. Well, it's that blue light bombarding them. Okay, and that's not woo-woo stuff, and you don't need to get the deep red orange glasses. I mean, you can. Those will definitely cut any blue light, towards bedtime, but I still think they look kind of silly personally, but hey, if you wear them, you wear them. If they help, okay? So getting a static bedtime and a static wake time, and the best way to find out your sleep schedule and your sleep cycles and what works for you is, when you have 3 or 4 days that you don't have to set a clock, you go to bed and you wake up and you log this, you journal it. And if you wake up and you're rested and get up the first time, don't snooze, don't go back, don't lay in bed for 15, 20, 30 minutes and fall back to sleep. If you wake up and you feel awake, get up, get out of bed, get your day started. Bammo. Okay, how's that sound to you? Then you know what, I slept 7 hours and 15 minutes this night, 7 hours and 35 minutes, 7 hours and 25 minutes, somewhere around a 7.5 hour, you're on a 90-minute sleep cycle. And once you do that, just stick with it. It's not worth getting another hour's sleep on the weekend or sleeping in till noon because you partied all night. You're just undoing the good stuff you're doing. Doesn't mean I'm, Mr. Stiffneck and say, oh, you can never have a cocktail or you can never enjoy anything. No, I would be silly to say that. And that's what we call the zag, zig and zag, but zag day, or zag meals, or zag times. But we're going to talk about that in the seminar that I want you on, guys. I am so freaking excited for June 5th. It's Intro to Heals. And, I'm going to post the links up for it. And you're probably going, oh, God, here it is. There's the sales pitch. How much is this going to cost me? No, I'm going to tell you that up front because it's ridiculously low. There's a lot of production costs that go into this. I got to get something to keep the shows going and everything. It's $27. Yep, that's it. There's no upsell on this. There's no, okay, well, if you want to see it other than, hear it on audio, you got to pay this much, No, it's $27. You can sign right up. I'll put the link in it. It's a Zoom style, so you'll be able to, it'll be very interactive. You can ask questions. You can really take a deep dive. It's going to be about a half a day seminar, so be ready for it. And really take a deep dive together where you can have your coach, me, right there with you and say, hey, I've tried this, or why didn't this work? Or, and I'm not God, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to, sell you on, I've got some supplement for everything, or just do this. What we're going to do is design those habits that help you, whether it's trouble with sleeping, sleep rituals and sleep routines, sleep habits, whatever you want to call them, are habits that you put in place, habits of getting up at a certain time, habits of eating certain foods that are good for you, habits of finding ways to de-stress. Okay, that's our next thing we're going to talk about, is stress reduction, stress relief. We talked about that. What is the difference? Stress reduction is kind of an anticipatory type of situation where you anticipate what could get effed up in this situation, what could go wrong, and how do I reduce the likelihood of stress? Okay, how do I say, having a good schedule, having things schedulized, having a good team around you, having the foresight to go, okay, these are the challenges we might have, let's be prepared, is stress reduction. Stress relief is you can't avoid all stresses. You can't avoid your spouse getting sick sometimes. You can't avoid a car crash. You can't avoid, a customer steals from you or bounces a check to you. You can't avoid, some of the things that are going on in the world and the government and this and that. So what do you do about that? You get relief for it. You meditate, sauna, whatever it is, go for a massage, go ziplining, go run, go do something that is positive for your body, but that makes you feel good emotionally too. See, that's the double-edged sword. Now, stress and excitement are parallel. Remember, we discussed that. Stress is here, excitement's here. Physiologically in the body, they run almost the same exact path. What's the difference then? Okay, why is stress so bad and excitement can be so good? Well, because stress has a negative connotation where excitement has a really positive. See, when you're stressed out, you're like, what am I going to do? I'm worried. Look at the difference in physiology. When you're excited, you're like, yeah, bring it on. Come on. Look at the smile. And you know what the smile does? It triggers the endorphins. Your movement, when you're stressed, you're locked down, you're rigid, you're boring. Blah. When you're excited, you're lively. People want to be around you. You're enjoyable. You're enjoying your life. It might be some uncertainty. It might be a little scary, like going on a roller coaster is exciting. It's technically stressful too. Whereas, going in and talk to your boss about a raise, oh my God, he might fire me. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It's what the pictures you put in your mind and attach it to the physiology. And the physiology, it works in reverse, because when you're stressed, you get all hunchy and tight and annoyed and all bound up. Where when you're excited, you're open, you're flowing, and they feed into each other. The positive feeds into it becoming more excitement and more positive, and the negative, it has a more negative effect on your body. And the more your body negatively responds, the more that negatively affects your emotions. This isn't woo-woo, guys. This is science. Okay? I'm a spiritual person, believe in God. God created science in my book. However you call your creator, that's fine. But you see where I'm going with this, that it's not about what happens. It's about how you perceive it and how you feel it and turn it around and what you do about it. So stress reduction, trying to avoid the maximum exposure to stress. We're never going to be stress-free. And stress relief is how to undo the negative effects on the body. Like I said, when you're stressed, you get all bound up in that. Well, when you go for a massage, that releases all those muscles and releases the feel-good endorphins and feel-good hormones. And guess what? Wow, you're relaxed, you're relieved, your body starts to heal, it releases toxins, boom, boom. I could go on for hours on this. And we're going to go on for hours when we do the webinar. It's going to be amazing. So that is what's next, guys. Heals, intro to heals. Sunday, June 5th. Don't miss it. Please do not miss it. That is going to be an amazing, and I mean amazing day together. I wouldn't want, I can't see you missing out on something like that. If you've been on any of these, or even if you're just joining today and you go back and watch these, if anything resonates with you, and for $27, you can't eat freaking Burger King for $27. And let me tell you, you'll feel a whole lot better coming here and spending half a day with me and learning how to do this stuff. I just hit that into the chats again, guys. I'm going to hit that in both locations. If you're watching on my personal page on Facebook, you'll see it. If you're watching on the website, the chat should be coming through to you. Yep, it is. Good. Everything's going through and as planned this morning. So, little truth to be told, little story for you here. Last night I'm getting set up to do the show this morning, and we had an update on one of our studio softwares, and something in my settings did not like that, and it started to play games and act up, and I was like, oh, here we go. So I'm trying to fix the challenge, and I'm like, this really isn't working out too well. It wasn't fixing, put it that way. And I was like, uh-oh, what do we do now? I got the show in the morning, and I don't want to not simulcast, because everybody tends to like to watch the show in a different spot. And I'm like, well, what are we going to do about this? And I figured it out. I made it happen. And we were good. But I also, at that point, it was like, you know what we're going to do too? Because I started to stress, but then I always find a way. And that's what de-stresses me. I'm like, I always find a way. We're going to get this done. But I was like, you know what? It is Memorial Day. Let everybody sleep an extra hour tomorrow. Let's do 9 o'clock so that I'm not all stressed. I'm not ragged out, because it took me a couple hours to figure out what was wrong. And I had to totally reset up all our formatting. But you know what? It's better. It's cleaner. It's a cleaner interface. And the update, of course, brought some new tools. And I was like, yay, now I can initiate these. I went back and used my old, templates for that. And it was like, They don't work anymore. And you're like, well, why are you telling us this story? Because your old template for life, your old habits may not be working anymore. Do you feel more tired or more energetic than you did a year ago? You know, do you feel like, ooh, age is starting to catch up with me? Or do you feel like things hurt more? Or do you feel like you just don't have the energy? Or you're just not as excited about your marriage, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend? You're not just excited about your business that you once was a dream? And you think, well, I'm getting older, or it's, we've been together a while, or I've had this damn business forever, or things have changed. Well, when is now a time to make a clean start? And H1 honestly does, I don't want to use the word cure, but let's face it, health first is kind of a cure-all to a lot of things. If you're lacking in energy, and you clean up your dietary and you start to exercise and you handle the sleep hygiene and you get rid of some stress and you start breathing and drinking right, all of a sudden you have more energy. Now you're happier. Maybe it's not that your business is not doing what it used to. Maybe you're not doing what you used to in your business. And it might not be your fault. Maybe you're going, you know what, I tried, but I'm just so tired. Or maybe your marriage is lacking because your business is doing good, but my God, with the labor shortages and that, we're all working harder, and she expects me to do what when I get home? I just want to fall into bed or just sit there and watch the TV until I fall asleep, or, crack open a beer. Then you wonder why maybe your marriage is lacking the excitement. It's not your fault. It's your habits. Change your habits, change your life. And that is going to be a huge focus on the webinar next week. Okay? That is going to just bust the doors in. Okay? When SWAT comes in to rescue somebody, they don't knock on the door and go, hey, would you please let this person out? If somebody's being held hostage, they bust through it. And they save the life most of the time. How about you bust through it? How about you bust through all this mire that's been building up and building up? Let's acknowledge it, guys. We've had 2 years of hell, okay? It's been COVID. It's been murder hornets, monkeypox. It's been get vaxxed, don't get vaxxed. It's been wear a mask, don't wear a mask. It's been all this stuff, and this politician's doing this, and that one's a thief, and this one did this, and this one's got this color hair, and this one falls on the stairs, and this one's blithering idiot, and that one was, a greedy businessman. I mean, you've heard it all, right? It doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on, and you might have some personal feelings, but let's face it, we've been through a rough couple of years, okay? But the one thing, we're going to go through another couple of years and another decade. How are you going to arrive? Okay? I don't care who's president. It doesn't matter what you put in your mouth. Nobody's going to tell you you can't eat fresh vegetables, and if they do, it's time for revolution. Okay? But I'm just saying, nobody's going to tell you you can or can't exercise. Your doctor might tell you you should exercise more, and they might tell you, oh, don't exercise, it might hurt you. Okay? And some people are, very ill. And, I wouldn't recommend going and running the marathon. But you can get up and walk. You can do some shoulder circles. You can do some breathing. You can do some yoga, something. You can't just sit and look at a TV all day long. You can't lay in a bed and not move unless you're paralyzed. And even then, you got to mentally do mental exercises. I'm telling you, you can make a difference. You can make the next year or two of your life the best year or two of your life, even if we have maybe been through a couple of really rough years. I can't say these are the worst 2 years of life. And I mean, people have had some problems and stuff, but, a lot of people have prospered during this time of uncertainty. And I think that's the thing. It's an overabundance of uncertainty, and we're trying to cling on to something that's certain. Well, if I get drunk on Friday night, it's certain. I forget who's president or what disease of the week is going around now. See, but then on Saturday, your day's ruined because you're recovering. And then by Sunday, maybe you don't even feel well. And then Monday, it's back to the treadmill. Come on, guys, that's not a way to live. Okay? This is what I'm telling you. Does it mean that, because we eat right, the government's going to change? Does it mean the world's going to change? In a sense, it does, because it starts in the community. When suddenly you're happier and healthier, people start to buy into that. People start to get together instead of separating, and they look for strong leaders. Why do you smile when you open the door for me? I'm a stranger. Well, because you feel good. And it feels good to smile. And it feels good to do something nice for somebody once in a while. Okay? Randomly do something nice every day for somebody. And I know this doesn't seem to fit in with health and wellness. Wellness up here. If you have something to give of you to somebody else, it makes you feel good. Okay? That's stress relief. That's, it gives you a second to breathe. I did something good. Do it. Just try this stuff. Let's go forward. Let's meet with me next Sunday. Get registered right now. Even if you're not on live and you're seeing a replay, you can still use that link. Get registered. We're going to kick ass. We're going to take it to the next level, and not in a way where, we're going to get woo-woo and eat tofu, rice, and beans all the time. Or we're not going to, trade in our running shoes for Birkenstocks and go sit in the woods. Although it's not a bad idea to go in the woods once in a while. I like to run in the woods because I get the best of both. I get a good run in. I get, I would say peace and quiet, but I have my cranking music going in my headphones. But I get to breathe that fresh air. I get to see nature. I get to see alligators. I get to see snakes. I get to get bit by scorpions every so often. That was a one-time occurrence, which I hope never happens again. No, but seriously, take it to the next level, and then everything else gets better. Your business gets better, your marriage gets better, your parenting gets better, your community gets better. It starts with you. You've got to do this stuff. If you wake up in the morning and it's all you can do, and you got to go sit in that drive-through and buy that overpriced, overburned crap that Starbucks sells and fill it with sugar just to make your morning meeting, and then you got to do another one of those midday just to stay awake to make it through the day, that ain't living, my friends. Living is having energy and passion and being a shining star. It doesn't mean you're going, yeah, look at me. Hey, everybody, let's jump up and down. Okay, some people it does. If you're a motivational speaker and you're a Tony Robbins or Dean Graziosi type of guy, or like me, I want to get you moving and excited, and let's have some fun. Let's have an auction. On Friday nights we do our auctions. If I got on and I said, hey, would you give $5 bid? People would be like, what the hell is this? This is boring. But, we have fun. It's energy. Brrr, like a machine gun going. And, that's the kind of energy I want to bring to you. And if I'm bringing that kind of energy to you, it's got to come from somewhere. And it comes from H1. That is the truth, guys. There's no amount of coffee and sugar and amphetamines and vitamins and a quick B12 shot, this or that in the world that's going to give you what a good, clean, healthy body's going to give you. And the key to being able to do it is to find what's good for you and you enjoy, and do a whole lot of that and very little of what's not good for you. So until we meet next Sunday, and I am confident you're going to jump in and get on this seminar for you. Okay? I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm at. I want you to be able to experience that. I want you to be able to experience. Think of just a moment before we close this morning. Maybe close your eyes. Think of the person that you know that just seems to have it all going on. They're energetic, they glow, they're fun. They're busy. They got a lot happening, but they have, good family life, good relationships, really good, at business, and they just seem to flow and glow. Flow and glow. That's kind of it. Think of somebody who flows and glows. Can you do that? Close your eyes. Picture that person. Who do you know that flows and glows? Flows, glows, and goes. How's that? Think of flow and glow. Who is that person? And you might be going, I don't know. I don't know anybody like that. I live in a bad neighborhood and everybody's angry and fighting. You know somebody. You've seen somebody on TV or something. But I think you know people personally and closer to you that you could go, yeah, I know a flow and go. And then I also know the dead and dredge. Don't be a dead and dredge. Be a flow and go. Learn how to do this. Sunday the 5th of June. Be on with me, guys. And if for some reason you're watching this as a replay and it's beyond Sunday the June 5th, there will be more live events. So just check our page at xlr8life.com for your cutting edge, real world self-education that works, guys. All right, listen up. See you Sunday. Be blessed. Live with faith, energy, love, passion, and by all means, please, 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 always live your dreams.
Ready to take it to the next level? Next level? Tune in to xlr8life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lou himself. As Coach Lou always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dream.